Hi everyone, and welcome to a restorative yoga practice where we'll be using a chair as our main prop. The type of chair that you need, I've got a, to show you actually that way, I've got a folding chair that has been rescued from our garden. You want ideally a chair which is a regular height and not too padded. So a dining chair would be perfect, a chair like this one, a folding chair would work, an office chair would work, something that doesn't have too high a cushion on the seat, just because we're going to add padding and take it away as we need it to create the right height for us as we come into the poses here. We're going to come into 3 poses today, and the other props that you're going to need are 1 blanket and probably two sort of solid, chunky pillows. The ones off the bed would be perfect. So let's make a start coming into our first shape. And we're just going to take a bit of time to get there. And before we settle in completely, we will take a bit of time to come into some gentle movement. So what we're going to do first of all is find our way down to the floor. You don't need a mat for this one, but if you want to lay a mat out, you're more than welcome to. And we'll fold up the blanket, creating a little sort of wedge shape, so a little kind of solid flat platform. And we're just going to pop that down in front of the chair. And we'll take one of the pillows. If you have got a thicker one and a thinner one, go for your thinner one and just pop it across the seat of the chair. We're going to use that in a moment to just create the kind of height that we're after. So we'll come down to sit. We're going to come down to sit on the folded blanket. If the folded blanket isn't enough height for you to be comfortable, you're more than welcome to add an extra blanket or come to sit up on a cushion. We'll find ourselves seated on the blanket, maybe just shuffling yourself forward so that you're on the edge of the blanket. And to begin with, let's just extend our feet out either side of the chair. And your legs don't have to go straight. So you can keep soles of the feet on the floor, and knees bent, or you might just have the heels digging in and a slight bend in the knees, whatever works for you. Once you find yourself here, bring the hands onto the knees. If the legs are outstretched, hands can rest on the knees down low, and just take a couple of breaths, thinking about creating some length through the spine. Think about growing up tall through the crown of the head, sinking heavy through the seat, and softening the shoulders away from the ears. And then when you feel ready, in your own time, you've got a choice to make here. You can choose to cross the legs in front of you or extend the legs out either side of the chair. We're going to come into a forward fold over the chair. And we're going to take our time to get there, and we're going to ease into it gently. But you just need to maybe think about positioning the legs in the variation of this shape that makes most sense for you now at this point. So you're either crossing the legs or you're extending the legs out long. If you're crossing the legs, choose your most relaxed cross of the legs. So we're not necessarily interested in hip opening or stretching here. We're just looking for a soft, relaxed position in the legs. Once you've chosen your position with the legs, we're going to bring the hands onto the chair out in front. And if, like me, the cushion is creating a little bit too much height, you can scooch the cushion back out of the way and just pop your hands on the edge of the chair instead. We're just going to take a couple of breaths, articulating the spine. So when you're ready, inhale, lift up through the chest, look up. Exhale, push hands down into the seat of the chair as you round in. Inhale, pull hands forwards, bending the elbows, lifting the chest through. Exhale, pressing away, pulling the belly button to the spine, tucking chin to chest, rounding. One more like that. Inhale to rise up. Shoulders drop away from the ears as you lift the gaze at the end. Exhale, press hands into the chair as you pull away, rounding in the spine. Draw yourself up to neutral with the hands on the chair. And then from this place, we're going to start to bring ourselves down into a forward fold. So you might have noticed I've just nudged my chair towards me there. When we come into the forward fold, you might need to come up and out of it and make adjustments. You're welcome to do that as it suits you. I've got this gap in my chair, so I'm going to post my cushion through. I'm using the cushion here to add a little bit of height, but also maybe just to give the chair a bit of warmth, especially if you're working with a chair like mine. So we'll take an inhale breath, hands on the chair. And as you exhale, you're going to walk yourself forwards until you come to a point where you're able to gently rest the forehead
against the cushion. And I'm not sure, I'm going to move my arm out of the way so that you can see nice and clearly. But what you're looking for is forehead against the cushion in the seat of the chair, but the face completely clear of the chair, with lots of space to breathe, no pressure against the eyes, just the forehead resting on the chair. If that feels like it's too much of a reach, too far away, too much of a stretch to make, all you're going to do is fold the cushion in half to get yourself a bit more height. And maybe a bit more height feels like the right answer and gives you a bit of a kind of more of a sensation of ease. In terms of thinking about positioning of the hands, you can have the hands as I do, also resting on the chair. Or once you've found the position with your forehead, you can let the hands come down to rest in the lap or to gently place by your sides, whatever feels like the right fit in your body and your shoulders. So you can play around with the positioning of the hands. You can play around with creating more height here. You can also, remember, add more height under your seat if you want to. Once you've found the version of this shape that makes sense for you, we're going to spend a few minutes dropping into it in quiet here. So take your time, get comfortable, and bring yourself into the shape. We'll meet there in the shape, allowing the back body to unwind, feeling space between each and every vertebrae, and starting to drop into stillness. Let the breath be steady and soft, and allow the mind to start to become heavy and perhaps a little quieter. You're not expecting it to be blank. There's no rule that says you shouldn't have any thoughts here. Of course you're going to have thoughts. Instead, what we're looking for is a kind of soft heaviness in the mind, whereby those thoughts can come and go, but we're not jumping up to get involved with them. Notice the breath, slow and soft and relaxed. Feel the breath moving in the back of the spine. We're coming into our last minute here in this shape. Taking your time, start to bring your awareness back to the body in this position here. When you feel ready, you might start to make small movements at the hands and the feet. Eventually, in your own time, you're going to slide the hands to the edge of the chair and gently press the chair away, lifting the head, but not rolling straight back to upright, Really taking your time to bring the head back to stack on top of the shoulders. You might keep the eyes closed for a moment before gently blinking the eyes open. From here, we're going to come into 2 more forward folds, but we're going to unwind through the legs. So if you've had the legs out straight, you're going to fold them up, so pop the soles of the feet on the floor. If you've had the legs crossed, you're going to unwind them, pop the soles of the feet on the floor. Just take a moment here. And then when you feel ready, in your own time, you're going to roll forwards, maybe giving the floor a bit of a press away, and just come up to extending through the legs. You might just want to give the legs a bit of a shake, a bit of a pedal here. You're welcome to hold onto the chair or to come up to stand, whatever works for you. In this next shape, we're going to make our way into another forward fold, a different type of forward fold, and you might just want to move your blanket out of the way. You're not going to use that just for the moment. You'll leave your padding on the chair as it is, although you might double it up in a moment if you want to. If you've not come up to stand just yet, soften the knees, pull the belly in and roll your way gently to a standing position. We're going to come into the forward fold supported by the chair, and you've got options as always. You can create more height if you need to, you can lower things down if you need to. So when you're ready, inhale the arms coming up overhead. You want feet hip width distance in front of the chair. And as you exhale, we're going to fold in all the way down, softening the knees as we go, until the forearms gently rest on the chair and the head can hang. So with the forearms gently resting on the pillow and the chair, you've got some choices to make. It might be that this position is too high up for you. If that's the case, you're more than welcome to remove the top pillow and lower down to the seat of the chair. Soften the knees. Allow the head to hang. The elbows are resting against the chair but not pressing the chair away. And the body is soft. If you needed more height, if it feels not so restful being low down, you're welcome to stack a couple of pillows up on the seat of the chair. We're going to spend a couple of breaths here in this more restorative supported shape. Allowing the backs of the legs to be soft. They don't need to be locked out. Allowing the head to hang. Let the belly be relaxed, breathing steadily into and out of that space. And as we come towards our final minute in this shape, this is a shorter held posture, because it does act as an inversion. This shorter held posture, if you want to, you're more than welcome for the final minute to just take a step back from the chair and allow the body to drop off the chair, holding onto opposite elbows. Just really watch, be very careful that your head is clear of the chair. You're not going to bump your head or your face. This is totally optional. If you'd rather stay supported by the chair, you can. If you want to come down to dangle for a minute here at the end, you're welcome to. Steady breath. Coming into our final few moments in this shape. And if you are still supported by the chair, you might just start to separate the hands, bringing the palms of the hands flat onto the seat of the chair. If you are dangling, you're going to release the hands, release the grip that you've got on your elbows. And wherever you are, whichever version of this shape you're in, we're going to press away, begin to roll up to stand. Take your time in getting there. Allow the hands to travel heavy by the sides, the shoulders to roll into place at the very last moment.
Take your time coming up to stand. Take a couple of breaths when you are there. And then we're going to make our way into our final standing shape before we bring ourselves down to the floor. So this is going to be a downward facing dog supported by the chair. And you've got choices here about how high you bring the body up in the downward facing dog. For me, I'm a bit taller, so actually the seat of the chair is too low for me to find a restorative downward facing dog. So what I'm going to do is turn my chair around. If your chair is too heavy to turn, you can walk around to the back of it. So you're welcome to, depending on your height, think about using the seat of the chair or the back of the chair. It will make sense as we come into it, and I'll talk you through the variations that you could use. Your hands are going to rest against either the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, and they're not holding on tightly, they're just resting, palms of the hands. I like to rest the chair just against the heel of my hand. And then from that place, all we're going to do is walk our way back. Just going to move these props that are slightly in my way. All we're going to do is walk our way back until the hips are able to reach for the back of the room. Again, soft knees, a bend in the knees is totally acceptable here if that feels good for you. The hands can find their place softly resting against the chair. Go a little bit longer. And with the feet hip width distance apart, you can start to think about dropping the chest through the space that you've created between the shoulders. The head can just hang here. You might find actually it doesn't work for the head to hang towards the floor, and instead you're looking for that kind of easy aligned sensation. The hands are soft. They're not holding on tightly. It can help if you're on the seat of the chair to spread the palms out wide. And you've got the sensation of a slight bend in the knees, the hips reaching back. You're long in the body. If this is pinchy or impinging in your shoulders, you're more than welcome to draw the belly in just a touch to kind of create a little bit of resistance to that sensation of dropping the chest through. Nice steady breath, allowing the belly to be entirely relaxed. Coming into our last minute here. When you feel ready, when it feels like the right moment for you to do so, we're going to find a little bit more engagement between the hands and the chair. And just start to push the chair away as you draw the back body up and round. It might feel lovely to push the chair away and really arch around the back. And from that place, you're going to walk in closer to the chair until you're bringing yourself closer towards upright. You might still begin a little roll up and back of the shoulders, softening your way into a kind of standing position. You're welcome to make any movements you need to shake off any tension that has come into the body there. And from here, we're going to make our way into a posture which is often referred to by restorative yoga teachers as instant Maui, because it is super relaxing. So you'll need to bring your chair, if you did turn it like I turned mine, you're going to need to turn it around so it's seat facing you, or you can walk back around to the other side of the chair. We're going to bring the cushions onto the floor just in front of the chair. I'm going to bring the blanket just behind the cushions. This is going to take a little bit of arranging to bring ourselves into a comfortable shape here. And it's one of those postures that just takes a little bit of fidgeting and wiggling to kind of get to comfortable. And you're welcome to take as long as you need. Once we get there, we will have lots of time. So don't feel hurried to bring yourself into the comfortable shape. We're going to stand, straddling the pillows facing towards the chair. We're going to come to sit down on the cushions. Bring yourself to sitting down on the cushions, and from that place, you're going to bring the calf muscles up to rest on the chair. If the chair is cold, doesn't feel good, you're more than welcome to pop a blanket on top of the chair or a cushion on top of the chair. Also useful to know that you can do that if the seat is too low. So from here, it's just going to take a little bit of wiggling, but what you want to end up with is your bottom just in line with the seat of the chair and the pillows aligned with the bottom of your shoulder blade when you recline back. So I think actually my pillows need to just shuffle forwards a bit. So if you do need to make adjustments with the pillows once you're on them, just gently roll yourself off them first. It's very tricky to move things around when you're on top of them. So we'll just scooch them back a little bit, and then I'm going to hop back up onto the pillows. I'm going to swing my legs back up onto the chair. That feels slightly better. So as you recline back, what's going to happen is the shoulder blades will hook over the top edge of the pillows, and you're going to take the blanket back so it supports your head. So what you should end up with here is the body lifted, the shoulder blades on the floor or on the mat, and then the blanket acting as a pillow behind the back of the head, meeting up with the top of the shoulders. So the body becomes sort of like a waterfall, from the feet cascading all the way down to the head on the floor. The hands can rest by your sides or out wide. So I'm going to cactus my arms because I'm a bit tight on space. You could extend the arms out wide, or the hands can rest on the body. It's totally your choice. Once you've found yourself there, once you've got yourself in the right alignment, you've made sure that nothing is moving underneath the body and you feel settled, we'll find ourselves dropping into stillness here. Dropping into ease, softness and quiet in the body, heaviness here. We're going to spend a full 5 minutes in quiet, resting in this shape. So don't worry if you feel like the video has paused, it hasn't. It's just me giving you space for some quiet. I'll let you know when you've got 1 minute remaining.
into our final minute here in this shape now. If you find that the mind is wandering, filling up with bits and pieces, the stuff of everyday life, see if you can come back and think about the way the breath moves in the body in this position. See if you can observe and watch the breath. When you feel ready, when it feels like the right moment for you, you might begin to invite into the body a deeper breath. That deeper breath might bring with it new, fresh energy. Enough energy maybe to wiggle the fingertips and the toes. You might eventually get to a point where there's enough power to point the toes and stretch the arms overhead. And then from there, you'll gently draw the knees in towards the body, maybe bringing the feet onto the edge of the chair. To get out of this shape, all we're going to do is roll ourselves over onto whichever side makes most sense for you. And that will roll the body gently away from the pillows. And bring yourself down to pause, laying on your side. Take a breath. From here, using the top hand, you'll gently press yourself up towards a comfortable seat, moving any props that you need to out of the way. Find yourself in your comfortable seat. Maybe the eyes are still closed or the gaze is cast down towards the floor. Notice this softness, this sense of ease in the body. In your own time, if you want to seal your practice, you're welcome to do so. Maybe bringing the hands to heart center, bowing the head to the heart, or anything else that feels right for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this restorative practice with our chair as a support. And I'll see you all in class really soon.